And Adam Konkey, the opponent on Tron, makes Oblivion Stone. Looks like he has not assembled Tron yet and is face down Bedlam Reveler. Jadine will cast a Thoughtseize. She has lost game 1, but might be okay here. We see another Tron piece, so lands 5 and 6, a Karn and an Ulamog. Now, Adam can just crack the Oblivion Stone.
Yep. Has a 5th land rolled up. The 3rd power plant.
That's like the gross part when you play red-black mid-range against Tron is it's frustrating when they don't even get Tron. They just play an O-Stone, crack it on 5 mana, and like on turn 7 make a Karn, and like you still lose.
Mardu in particular has a very anemic clock. Tarmogoyf is quite a bit better in these games, yeah, as you kind of mentioned. It's still not that good.
Right. No, it's not great. It's better.
It's better.
So she'll leave Adam with the Ulamog and hope he just doesn't find Tron. If he finds an Urza's Tower, if he draws it, he has Ulamog this turn, so, that would be bad.
Yes. Correct.
With Prowess, she attacks Adam down to 16. But now that Oblivion Stone mana is up, we'll see how many Bedlam Reveler hits Adam wants to take.
It's not a huge reason to crack it before combat damage next turn. The Mardu deck doesn't have a ton of reach, and in fact, Lightning Bolt is a card I'm pretty interested in boarding out in a matchup like this, though you're going to prioritize cards like Fatal Push over that. The deck has a number of things that you really want to get out here, but you can take 1 hit from 16.
Sure, down to 13, no additional prowess. And Jadine actually has 1, if not 2 more lands. She's got a Bedlam Reveler still in hand. And it looks like on end step, Adam will crack the O-Stone. I don't mind that.
Yes, I do like that after taking the hit there. You're going to do it inevitably.
Adam's hand not helping him too much. Here's Chromatic Star. Cards in hand are Forest, and Ulamog. So he's trying to find that Urza's Tower. Draws into Expedition Map. That should do it next turn.
Yep, so we want to fade Thoughtseize. Doesn't have enough mana to crack the map and set up Ulamog this turn, but we'll certainly be able to cast Ulamog next turn.
So he uses the floating green mana. Actually, did not use the floating green mana. Or use that to... I think he just let a mana go there, but that doesn't really matter.
He wasn't using it.
No. Here's 3 more that he's not going to use. Urza's Tower.
Right. Can't cast Forests. 1 is not 10, so he can't cast Ulamog. He can leave things like that on the table.
And once Ulamog's in play, I don't believe Jadine has... Well, she has 1 Liliana of the Veil.
Ooh.
And that is it.
Plenty of lands here, so the cast trigger won't be a big deal. Getting the Ulamog off the table would be a big win.
Players in the 4 p.m. Sealed Spectacular. Your seatings for the players meeting are being hosted at
Yeah. And here's land 8 from Jadine. She's got a Bedlam Reveler. What I like here is if she can find if Bedlam Reveler can find her a Fulminator Mage right now, then she's okay.
Yes.
Or a Thoughtseize.
There are 3 mines, but the other Tron pieces are not at all redundant.
She'll cast Engineer Explosives on 0. Well, maybe 1, and then cast Bedlam Reveler on
0.
2.
This is blocking for Worm Coil Engine tokens down the line.
Thoughtseize or Fulminator Mage is what we're looking for. Here is...
I think Liliana the Last Hope.
That can get you... That's a Fulminator Mage. Mill for 2, get a creature back. Gets back Fulminator, casts it, takes care of the tower or the mine. She'll go for the tower. And so far, so good.
Yeah, unclear if either of those are redundant pieces that were in the graveyard. You would want to go for the one you've seen the most of this game.
Right.
If that's an option.
It actually looks like there's a mine in the graveyard. So if that's true, then would want to go the other way. Chromatic, either way, it's a great play. Chromatic Sphere, Ancient Stirrings, but with this mana spent, even if he finds the tower, Adam is... Oh, no, he's not 1 short. He hasn't made a land. Yeah, he's still 1 short.
Yes.
But he doesn't find it. And maybe Jadine's going to be able to take a game here.
I think the 4th power plant available in the 5 cards here.
And if Adam's low on time, Jadine gets to plus that Liliana next turn. And that means if Adam doesn't top deck into Tron, she gets to buy back Fulminator again.
Yes. Fine was Karn liberated. That one's a little bit mopey here still. That is an option to cast next turn, and that would be able to tag the Reveler.
Yeah, you can just cast it by tapping 7 lands, no Tron.
Right.
2 mana from Jadine. Young Pyromancer's the play. 3 more mana. Lingering Souls making a elemental and 2 spirits.
And the plan seems to be just represent lethal damage next turn.
Just attack.
Yep.
Flash back Lingering Souls. Swing for 5. Plus the Liliana. So we have 4 souls, 2 elementals. Adam needs to draw an O-Stone now, really.
And it would have to be Tron Land plus O-Stone. And Jadine can rest assured that either of those would have been deployed last turn. Adam had enough mana to cast Oblivion Stone.
And I loved it. Well, he drew Sylvan Scrying, so now I got to hold on, Ryan, because there some mana counting is going to happen. He can make the Ulamog, but is he still dead?
Yeah, so you're able to block one of these creatures, exile 2 other creatures.
So if you're Adam's side, what I'm interested is, do you exile 2 spirits or some big creatures, you know?
I think you want to exile the Reveler and or the Pyromancer just because they represent more damage. You can't block both of them with the Ulamog.
But maybe 1 spirit, because then you might buy yourself back a turn. I don't know. It's close.
The flyer is something, but over the course of 2 turns of attacks, this should be lethal. So the flying and the spirits doesn't seem to be a factor in the game.
Here's Ulamog. Yeah, he'll go for the 2 biggest creatures. So Pyromancer and Reveler are gone. So Jadine has him on a 2-turn clock.
Adam does need to produce something else.
Well, he has a Karn, right?
I think something a little bit more than that. The spirits are just lethal in 2, and the elemental tokens add some damage to that as well.
Okay, Spirit's lethal in 2 if we go Karn -3 on a Spirit.
I mean, just the elemental tokens will come in for the last point there, right?
Yeah. All right.
So it has to be more than just Karn.
Jadine counting elaborate 28, so that, and here's a big Thoughtseize. That'll take the Karn. It does put her down to 10.
Yeah, it seems likely she'll be able to represent a blocker here. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised
If Liliana gets a
minus
blocker.
2 for some kind of creature.
And that's exactly what she'll do.
Ooh, and Lingering Souls too.
Don't mind that. She'll get back Fulminator Mage. Now, I don't know if she's going to sacrifice it on a land right now.
Well, she can flashback the Lingering Souls, and breaking up Tron, that puts Adam in a position where he can't Oblivion Stone or Ugin next turn. He's untapping with 6 lands, plays a 7th land.
Yeah, she'll attack with 4 flyers, flash back the souls for 2 more flyers. We're going to go to a 3rd game here.
Yeah, I believe she's sealed it here.
Draw from Adam. Is that enough? I think it's an expedition map. If so, that's not it. He'll attack, exile 20. He'll get to see Jadine's board plan.
Right. Though I believe he's already seen the extent of what matters. You get an idea for how many Fulminator Mages there are. That card just has the impact that it has.
Right. I mean, there are things I'd be interested, like what's her lightning bolt count?
Yep.
If I'd want to know.
He did flip over Liliana of the Val as well, so knowing that one's an option that can impact your play patterns. But we're going to 3 here.
And that's what he does. He looks at the 20, nods, and picks up the cards. Jadine picking up a game. A lot of things really have to break right for her, though, in this matchup.
Yes.
It is. I think
and being on the draw makes those Fulminator Mages quite a bit worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much. If Adam just has natural Tron, there's not much of a defense that she'll have.
Right. It has to be some kind of situation where there either just isn't a Haymaker to follow up the Tron, at which point, what is Adam doing? Or some kind of answer to the Haymaker followed up by Fulminator Mage, which can be a lot to ask.
I had a fun question. I was hanging out with some Tron players, just with how much latitude you have to keep hands. The question we had was, if you had an opening 7 of all 3 Tron pieces and 4 Sylvan Scryings, would you keep or mulligan it? And the answer, right, because we're trying to come up with the worst hand possible with Tron in it.
Yeah. Huh.
Most of them said keep.
That seems like a mulligan. Your best draw with this hand is actually Chromatic Star or Chromatic Sphere.
It's a nice draw.
But if you're not drawing that, I guess like it's probably a Haymaker. You don't want to draw any of the lands on your deck. I guess I would actually want to sit down and like do the math.
Yeah, right? It's actually interesting. You guys can, those of you on Twitch, go ahead and weigh in on this one because I think it's interesting.
Yes. Your hand is excellent if you draw Chromatic Sphere or Chromatic Star.
Or Karn.
Your hand is fine if you draw Karn.
Okay. It's only fine?
Karn is not a game-winning haymaker in a lot of matchups.
Okay.
There's enough matchups in the dark where casting Karn on 3 and having no follow-up will convert to a game loss.
All
I mean,
right.
this,
Yeah.
you hit their land, or like
Storm.
they have a threat and they lightning bolt you. Yeah, Storm. Like even Dredge just runs you over in a situation like that. Those kinds of decks. Ironworks just gets you.
You're on the play, by the way, if that matters.
On the play certainly helps. It's kind of You're not worse off for being on the play with a hand like this.
Yeah. This came a conversation of, would you ever mull turn 3 Tron on the play? And then we're like, well, what's the worst hand you could have with it?
There's got to be times where you would. I don't know. It's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
Talking about it hasn't helped me at all. I need to look at some things.
Yeah. Jadine on a mulligan here for game number 3. Adam having... that's always a scary thing when you're playing against a Tron player, and they're just like, they keep 7 on the play, and it's like, oh darn.
Right.
Please don't.
I've played a number of fair decks with an honest game plan that do enough against Tron, but then game 3,
They just do this.
they're on the play, they keep a 7-card hand. I'm just like, well, what have I done to deserve this?
It's also like in the way they say keep. It's just like, it's not just a... They look at you and just very calmly like, keep.
I would never in my life consider mulliganing these cards.
Right.
Your stupid blue deck is dead to rights. Your mid-range deck is about to get carned. JD's going to 5. 5 is so tough already.
Well, yeah, you got to have something.
Play. Yeah.
The thing is with Mardu, there's so many hands in this matchup that can't beat anything. Right? Like...
Yeah.
It's like you can look at at a 7, which is like 4 lands, Inquisition, Kolaghan's Command, like Lightning Bolt.
And the inherent...
And you're just like, well, this will never win.
And the inherent strength of the Mardu deck is the Faithless Looting Engine.
Yeah.
That gets worse when you have fewer cards.
Yeah. All right, what do we have? Adam starting out turn 1, Tower Sphere, Inquisition. How bad is it? We'll see. Okay. Teacup to 1 lander, so she'll get his Sylvan Scrying. Or it's Grafdigger's Cage, Sylvan Scrying, Worldbreaker Carnugan. She could beat this hand.
She could beat this hand.
Take Scrying, right?
Adam probably should have mulliganed this hand. Yeah, so she takes Sylvan Scrying. The Grafdigger Cage is pretty whatever in the matchup.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see it boarded in here, actually, but... And Adam cracks the sphere and draws into another sphere, says, go, no second land, Jadine is live. Maybe. I mean,
right. That's the whole thing, right? She still might lose.
Right. She's going to give him so much time.
Yes.
That's the problem. All right, he drew a land. It was another tower this turn. Cracks sphere. He drew Relic of Progenitus.
Yeah, that's whatever. He has a land.
Okay. Chromatic Star, Tower, Relic. Actually, but he's exposed this Relic to Kolaghan's Command.
Okay.
No, I'm not even joking.
No, but like, that doesn't matter. If it was an expedition map, that'd be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can afford to play around that thing.
It's like X% of a land, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Jadine might shatter it.
Yeah.
Like,
the second mode on the Kolaghan's Command is not doing a lot. Probably just make Adam discard a card. Maybe just shock him. Neither of them really do anything.
We're going to do it, though. Here's the opportunity. Blow up that Relic, and we'll see if it's 2 damage or a discard.
Seemed to be a discard. It's a lot of thinking here for a simple shock.
Grafdigger's Cage. Now, he'll get rid of Worldbreaker.
That one comes back. It doesn't actually matter what he discarded there.
No. Here's a land. He drew Forest, cracks Chromatic Star, draws into Ghost Quarter.
Well, he can make land drops.
Grafdigger's Cage. Forest, pass. I mean, eventually he'll just draw the mana to cast these things. It's not like Jadine's doing anything.
Yeah, she has a Bedlam Reveler stranded in
lands.
hand. Yeah, only 1 instance in the graveyard.
Inquisition, that's going to miss.
Yes. We have seen most of these cards.
I think Jadine actually knows it's going to miss, but hey, we got this Bedlam Reveler.
Exactly.
Here's Thoughtseize. That actually will hit. Probably. Ugin's more expensive, but better against you. Do you care?
Ugin tends to be much higher impact. She does go with Karn.
I guess he's so far off Tron that a 7 versus an 8 is just, hey, take the 7.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Also, Ugin versus Bedlam Reveler, that one.
Yeah.
Karn's a little bit better against Bedlam Reveler.
Young Pyromancer from Jadine. Adam drew Power Plant that turn. If he draws Urza's Mine, he's got it. He draws a 3rd tower. He's up to 5 mana. His hand is Ghost Quarter plus Ugin. Jadine attacks for 2. Adam finally taking damage. He's at 18.
Oh, and she drew Black Cleave Cliffs. Any untapped land would have been Reveler.
Oh no, here's Urza's Mine!
Yikes.
Oh no!
Oh, this Ugin's going to do some damage.
You mentioned
Plus.
Before, you mentioned before she can still lose from here.
And
That's the gross part.
It's not going to be close either. This is
right.
It's about to be a runaway. She
That's
can
Ugin.
cast Bedlam Reveler next turn,
Maybe it draws into Dreadbore.
but she can't cast that. And the Ugin has to -8 on Reveler. That's a thing.
Why can't she cast Dreadbore?
Not this turn.
Oh, she's done. You're right. Here's Faithless Looting.
This could theoretically get you enough.
Yeah, Lingering Souls, Kolaghan's Command are the 2 cards she drew. So now her graveyard has 4 instants. It could go down to 6 instants. And now it has 6. Okay, it's a 2-mana Reveler. She draws Dreadboard now.
This would be the time to do it.
All right, here we go. She plays 2 copies.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 draws. Faithless Looting, Fulminator Mage in a land. Not there yet. Here's Faithless Looting. But Reveler's pretty good against Ugin. I mean, yeah, Adam can -8. It does work.
Right. There's a number of draws that cleanly answer the Reveler on top of this. No shortage of mana for Adam. An Ulamog off the top would be obscene. Karn Liberated, really good here.
And it looks like Jadine, another Faithless Looting will leave 2... Well, she was thinking about 2 copies of Fulminator Mage, but I think she kept Fulminator Mage Kolaghan's Command because that way she can command away the cage and buy back a Fulminator. The cage is actually now with all these Faithless Lootings in the yard and Lingering Souls is doing something.
If the situation is Ugin -8, then the Kolaghan's Command cleans up the Ugin and answers the cage. That's a big deal.
Yeah, Ugin is not a great answer for Bedlam Reveler. Adam will make Expedition maps, so now the ability of Jadine to knock Adam off of Tron is pretty low.
Right.
Adam's deciding what to do with this Ugin here, though. This is not... It's not immediately clear what the play is.
Right.
Yeah, -8 in her Kolaghan's Command of destroy cage, 2 damage to Ugin is pretty good. Yeah, -8, but that's what it'll do. So Jadine can clean up the board. Adam will crack map now while she's tapped out. Says go. So he verbally says what he's getting and says go. Doing that out of sequence like this, though, as he gets Sanctum. I guess even if he loses a land, he's got a lot of mana.
Right. Yeah, pretty whatever. I mean, he can be punished if an Ulamog is drawn.
I mean, Jadine's got to play right Kolaghan's Command to hit both of Adam's permanents. Flashback a Lingering Souls if she has one. Is not a bad turn.
Right.
Kolaghan's Command. And Ugin, 2 damage to Ugin. And is she going to buy back a creature or destroy the cage?
Yeah, just get back that Fulminator Mage. Now that that map has been cracked, she does have a clear line to start knocking Adam off Tron, which ultimately ends up being a bigger game than just getting some Spirit Tokens. Spirit Tokens just don't close the game fast enough.
Yeah, and here is Crucible of Worlds from Adam.
That changes Fulminator Mage's efficacy.
Yeah. And she'll play one and say go, but... Oh, Adam's going to start Ghost Quartering her away. Okay. And a lot of times Mardu only plays that one Sacred Foundry. She looks like she has a Godless Shrine as well, so a second white source.
Yeah, she's not trying too hard to cast white spells, and the deck is pretty heavy on basic lands. Lingering Souls ends up being fully shut off with the Grafdigger's Cage. Can't cast it or flash it back once you're off white.
Well, Adam drew a Wormcoil Engine, so...
Okay. That is a good one.
What a deck. This matchup's so hard for Mardu.
Yes.
She has land 6. She's got 2 more Fulminators and Thoughtseize in her hand, but that's...
You can tread water, block the Wormcoil Engine, sacrifice the Fulminator Mage so Adam's not gaining life. But what are you really drawing to? You need to answer the Wormcoil Engine, answer the tokens left behind, and then Adam has to draw nothing.
Okay, this wasn't nothing. It was Oblivion Stone and a swing of Wormcoil Engine.
Oblivion Stone is nothing adjacent, but it also stops Jadine from getting set up.
Yeah. I mean, and he has all this mana, so eventually if it starts putting fate counters on his thing, it becomes relevant again.
Right. When you look at the volume of cards that are actually air for Adam, there aren't that many.
Right.
Oblivion Stone's one of the weaker draws, and it's still pretty good.
Yeah, he has nothing as bad as this Thoughtseize that Jadine has been holding on to.
Yeah.
Engineered Explosives on 0 for Jadine. For 1. She's going to crack it on 1, wants to free up those souls and looting. She'll cast looting, but I think you said, what is she even drawing to? And I'm not sure.
Yeah, she cleans things up. The deck can generate a lot of power and toughness. Your redraws off a Bedlam Reveler, having a big young Pyromancer. But the Oblivion Stone pretty well covers any way to set up with the young Pyromancer.
Yeah, and you see Jadine's holding onto that Godless Shrine in her hand as well, because that's her last white source. Now, one thing is Adam's using a fate counter here on end step. We do want to be careful of is that clock. I think Adam will be okay, but we'll keep an eye on it. Ugin was his draw there, so that should be good.
That closes the game real quick. He also has the Sanctum that he found earlier, so he'll be able to find another Haymaker off of that one.
Crack Sanctum.
They're all fairly interchangeable from this point.
Well, this is gonna be turn 0 as time is called, so he'll only get this attack and 2 more. Finds another Wormcoil Engine.
1 Wormcoil hit plus 1 Ugin activation going upstairs is lethal. So that's pretty good backup on the Worm. I wouldn't be surprised. I think that Ugin just -3ing here. You can cast the Wormcoil first, or you can just float the mana in response to Fulminator Mage activations. It doesn't really make a difference.
Right.
Then you get that online. The Worm will connect for 6 this turn. Ugin will be able to clean up on the following turn. If not Ugin, one of the 2 Wormcoil Engines.
And he's actually going to use that mana to put a fate counter on the Worm already in play, instead of casting the other Worm. A little fancier than necessary, but should still be good. Jadine drops to 3. It means, because now she's at 3, she can't make blockers because the O-Stone takes care of them.
Right.
And she has to answer Ugin because she's at 3.
Yeah.
And extends the hand. Adam Konkey on mono green Tron improves to 4-0.
Yeah, the opening